Topic number two, Dion. We are reacting to Greg and Carter's top 10 wings. And as a refresher for the audience listening, this was their ranking of the top 10. They had BYU number one with Richie Saunders and AJ DeBonsa. They had Duke at number two with pretty much their entire roster. What needs to be, what's that phrase? What needs to be known doesn't need to be said. I don't know if I just made that up, but it
What's
sounds
known doesn't need to be said.
there we go. That's why the fans are raving about our chemistry. Number three, they had UConn, which I think they included Caravan, they included Mullins, they included Jalen Stewart. You could throw Jacob Furphy in there as well, my guy, even though he's not getting any minutes. Number four, they had Kentucky with Owe, Mo Diabate, Colin Chandler, who I would consider a guard, but throw him in there. Trent Noah, Braden Hawthorne, Cam Williams. At five, they had Creighton with Josh Dix, Blake Harper, Jackson McAndrew. Number six, they had St. John's. They considered Ian Jackson and Joseph Sanan wings and Dylan Mitchell. NC State, they had at number seven with Darion Williams, Terrence Arsenault, Matthew Abel, Quadir Copeland. Number eight, they had Lamar Wilkerson and Tucker DeVries at Indiana. And number nine, they had Illinois, Keaton Wagler, Andrei Stojakovic. Number 10, Michigan State, Cohen Carr, Kurtang. Who am I forgetting? Trey Fort, maybe you consider a wing. I think Tang. Why? Cam Ward. Sorry for the mental lapse there, but Cam Ward, the other wing. So, Dion, what are your takeaways for this one? Any teams you think that are too high, too low, and any that you would want to boot in favor of others?
These are the best wings. Did they consider my dog Cohen a wing?
Yeah, yeah. I want to make sure Michigan State stays on here. I was
Yeah, no,
hoping.
they're too low.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move them up to like six.
I like that. Like I cannot wait until he plays basketball. I'm so correct about this, it's insane. And like there's a few things in life I've ever been more correct on. Cohen Carr is gonna be sick this year.
Can you imagine, Dion, the TikToks that are going to be made when Cohen has his first 20 point per game, or excuse me, his first 20-point game of the season? It's going to be, there's some sicko out there who is going to clip all of your Cohen propaganda and put it into one edit, and it will be a Hall of Fame sleepers moment.
They better. If they don't, I think I'd feel really sad inside. It's me and Cohen versus the world at the moment. Who are the Creighton Wings again?
Creighton has Josh Dix, the Iowa transfer. They have Blake Harper and Jackson McAndrew.
They're too high.
You
Way
think
too,
that's too? Yeah, I could see that bumping
way
down a
too.
little bit. Blake Harper. So Harper was so awesome at Howard last year. I think I don't have the numbers in front of me, but was just like dropping.
19.
Yeah, like his first few games was just like putting up 20 points with ease, dog on the glass. It's just not a ton of like successful MEAC transfers to go off of to say like will it for sure translate, but I do think he at least has the size and athleticism. But yeah, you could probably bump Creighton down to like eight or nine maybe. I actually think NC State might be a little low if you're considering Darion Williams a wing. Um, Terrence Art
Indiana.
Indiana was the one who I would consider booting Indiana.
Whoa, I wouldn't.
Okay, so you like Wilkerson and Tuck where they are?
Too low, in my opinion.
So I just have
How much
like
worse, in your opinion? And I'm not trying to throw any shade at anybody on this list, but Tugger DeVries, when healthy, respectfully, probably was healthy last year, by the way. Neither here nor there, but probably was healthy last year. But Tuck, when healthy, I'm going to list off some names that are on this list. I want you to tell me if you think he's better than them.
okay.
Richie Saunders,
No,
but that's close.
it is close. It's a debate for sure.
Kamenia.
Yes.
Who else is Isaiah Evans?
Yes.
I was Isaiah Evans considered a wing because I would call him a wing
Yeah.
personally.
Isaiah, the Duke guys were Evans, Sarr, Kamenia, Sebastian Wilkins.
Okay, I would agree with all that. I also would have Tuck above Richie Saunders for what it's worth.
Wow.
UConn Caravan,
Yeah.
close.
Yeah. I think Tuck can go get you a bucket more easily than Caravan can.
I
Tuck can
agree.
create like prime Tuck before the injury on Drake was like would go create like he was their offense.
Solo ball.
Yeah. Like Tuck was so good at Drake. Like before the injury, you are making your point here.
Braylon Mullins.
Dion, how's your job going?
Beginning of the school year, everything's like a little up and down. One of the biggest issues we've had is we can't find any uniforms for our girls' sports teams.
Mm, that's a difficult thing to find a solution for. I know damn well all about that because I got a daughter that just turned 2. She's into sports and she's already outgrowing every little piece of sports apparel she had. Thankfully, I know Clara Kate Creations. Clara Kate Creations was started by a former high school teacher who quit because it wasn't cost effective to send new twins and a 2-year-old to daycare. She found it easier to make girl sports apparel than finding it to buy. And I am so thankful that she exists because if we have an old shirt of Murph's that she's outgrown, we can send it in and she takes that piece of apparel that means something and upcycles it into an outfit that Murphy can now wear as she grows up. She makes great stuff. It's honestly kind of like your fullback's wife, Kyle Juszczyk. Is that how you say it? She does that. But honestly, I think Clara Kate's coming for Mrs. Juszczyk's job.
I love that. I'm a big Juice guy. Love his wife. Love Claire Kate even more than both of them, though.
You can send in your own custom ideas and she will come up with a design. She's just the best. Look up Clara Kate Creations on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and more.
Yep.
Now, here's the one that I think is interesting. I'm not even going to list off the other names on Kentucky because I'm not going to be disrespectful to Tuck. But this one's closer than I think everybody thinks. Otega Owe.
I would still take Owe, but if you're going back 2 years with what Tuck was doing at Drake, he is in the conversation. Like Tuck was on NBA draft boards. NBA folks were high on him as a second rounder. I think that means something. Yeah, if you're looking at this, maybe Indiana is too low if we're getting prime healthy Tucker DeVries.
I think it's like a situation where they don't have the depth these other teams have, but they're top two. Because we could do the same thing with Lamar Wilkerson. Like
Mhm.
Kennard Davis ain't Lamar Wilkerson. I
Right.
mean, obviously BYU has Bonsa. They should be number one for that reason. Duke has Cam Boozer. They should be two for that reason. Are we sure Braylon Mullins is better than Lamar Wilkerson? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so on and so forth. Like, I think for as good as Braylon Mullins is, Lamar Wilkerson's like a proven product.
Yeah.
I don't think Trent Noah is better than Lamar Wilkerson. Hawthorne,
Hmm.
Chandler,
Yeah.
Diabate. I don't think any of the Creighton dudes are better than Lamar Wilkerson. I don't think any of the Creighton dudes are better than Tuck. Blake
Yeah,
Harper
you're right
will
about that.
Blake Harper will be, but like he's gonna have to do it. He was a true freshman at Howard. I don't want to like jump the gun too quickly with him.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't think any of the St. John's dudes are better than Wilkerson or Tuck. I don't think any of the NC State dudes are better than Wilkerson or Tuck. Like,
You don't think Darion is?
nah.
Wow, I'm a big believer in Darion. I get that like having Top in there to command so much attention and draw double teams, but Darion was so good in the tournament and like showed some legit shot creation off the bounce with his size, and then you have the passing, the rebounding, all of it, and can succeed in team defensive concepts. I don't know. I think you're selling me on Tuck, but like if I had to give my ranking, I actually so I'd probably go BYU one. I'd probably bump Kentucky two because I think they had Cam Boozer as a front court piece. So I'd probably go BYU Kentucky because I think always better than any
Well,
wing on
Cam
Duke.
was a front court piece.
Yeah.
Oh, you can take Duke out the top 10 then.
Even with Evans and Sarr and Kamenia, I think that has to get you on the list.
All right, well, we can put them down there by like NC State and them.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Because
Um,
Star, well, there's some pretty big questions on Dame.
Yeah, yeah. Illinois, I'm fine with Wagler and Stojakovic. I wanted to put. I think you could argue for Arizona here with Ivan Karchenkov, Dwayne Aristode, and Anthony Del Orso. Baylor,
Kopi, Kopi was front court, I'm assuming, right?
Kopi, yeah, Arizona made the list for front courts. Um, Baylor, I really like their group with Tunde Yesufu. They love Michael Ratai, who was a hooper at Oregon State last year, a versatile bucket getter who's like 6'10 and can play make a little bit. Cameron Carr only played in 4 games at Tennessee last year. Apparently, they love him too. He showed some things in those 4 games, but 4 games, man, come on. And Dan Skillings, who at least is solid, if not spectacular. But Baylor, to me, I would put here and probably maybe bump St. John's. You could talk me into. You don't have to work that hard to convince me to bump Duke. Um, I think Iowa State. I think of Joshua Jefferson as more of a wing. They were talking about him as a front court piece, and Milan Momcilovic. They deserve a mention. Um, that might be it. Yeah, those could be the only ones who I think I would throw as an honorable mention to at least have their name in the ring.
I I mean, bumping Duke my comment on that was probably a little strong.
Yeah, it probably was.
Because I forgot about Darren Evans too. Like there's, I mean, there's probably 10 wings on this roster that are
Yeah.
really good. The front end talent, though, like I will stick with that. I don't think Duke has a Lamar Wilkerson or a Tuck. Now they might have 8 of everybody else, and that's why they should be on the list. But I think
Right.
they lack like the top end wing talent. I do believe in year 2 Slim though.
Mhm.
Badame, I do believe in Kamenia, but he's still a freshman. Like I don't know. I think there's a little few question marks with that roster. So
Yeah.
I'm good bumping them down, but I think I don't hate the rest of the list. I just would reorder it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. I think I might have figured out Riley and Deion's top 10 wings.
Okay, who we got?
BYU 1, Kentucky 2, Indiana 3, do UConn 4, Duke 5, NC State 6. No, Michigan State 6,
Hmm.
NC State 7. Then we have Illinois at 8. I want Baylor at 9. And then for 10, we could either do St. John's or Creighton.
St. John's.
All right, St. John's. I feel good about that list.
Me too.